Homework for Algebra 2, Section 11-2. Question 8, it says, a class tossed coins and recorded 161 heads and 179 tails. This is based on an experiment, okay? So, how many times was the coin flipped? Can someone tell me how many times the coin was flipped? We flipped it, and 161 times we got heads, and 179 we got tails. So what's the total number of times we flipped the coin?
340.
340 is correct. So what would you say the experimental probability of flipping a heads is? Well, it's 161 over 340. And can you give me that? I want it in a percent. 47%. And what's the probability of it being tails? 53% is correct. Is there anyone that does not understand now? Okay, number 9. It says another experiment was conducted and we're rolling cubes. And it says here's the results. They rolled a 1 42 times. They rolled a 2 44 times. A 3 45 times. A 4 44 times. A 5 47 times. And a 6 46 times. What is the experimental probability of rolling each number? So I need to know how many times was that die rolled? Anyone have that number for me? I need you to add up all these. That's the total number of times it was rolled. 268 is correct. All we do is add these up. So if we want to know what's the probability based on this experiment of getting a 1, it would be 42 out of 268. Convert that to a percent for me. $42 out of 268. Now, you could reduce that fraction to 21 over 134, and then hit Menu, hit Actions, whoops, I keep wanting to do, hit Number, convert to a decimal, and then hit Enter. So it's about, what did you get? Did you get 15.7%? Yes or no? How about getting a 2? Would be 44 out of 268. What's 44 out of 268? It's 11/67. And we're going to convert that to 16.4%. Next one, 45 out of 268. We can convert that to 45 out of 268. We can't simplify that. Go to Menu, and we're going to convert that. I get 16.7 or 16.8%. Next one. To get a 4, we have 44 out of 268. And that's 11 over 67. And that's the same as this one, so we're just going to say 16.4%. And how about a 5? We have 47 out of 268. Anybody have that? 17.5%. And 46 out of 268. And that one We got 17.1%. Or actually you can round to 17.2. Easy? Okay, next one. 13 through 16. These are called theoretical probability. We have a jar of marbles. We have 30 red marbles, 50 blue, and 20 white. How many marbles are in this jar? 100. How do you get that? How'd you get 100? You add them all up. So if I want to know what's the probability of getting a red marble, how many red marbles are there?
30.
30. 30 out of 100. How do you make 30 out of 100 a fraction? You could say 3/10. How do you make it a decimal? 0.3. How do you make it a percent? 30%. Questions? What'd you get for probability of it being blue? 50 over 100. That's a half. It's 50% or 0.5. How about not white? How many are not white?
80.
There's 80 that are not white out of 100. Whoops. 80 out of 100 is?
80%.
So 4/5 you could say. You could say 0.8, or you can say 80%. How about red or blue?
80.
Red or blue, it's the same. You're gonna add red and blue, you get 80 over 100, which is the same. 4/5, 0.8, or 80%. Questions? These are called theoretical probability. The next example is also theoretical probability. Now we have a bag containing blocks. 36 are red, 48 are green, and 22 are yellow, and we've got 19 purple. How many blocks do we have?
125.
How many?
125.
I got 125 also. So what's the probability of it being green? There's 48 green out of 125. We're going to convert this to a percent. How about purple? How many purple ones are there?
19.
Can someone tell me what 19 out of 125 is?
15%.
Yep. How many are not yellow?
103.
103 of them are not yellow. 103 out of 125. What percent is that?
82.
Good job. How many are green or yellow?
70.
How'd you get 70?
I added 48 and 22.
That's what I did. 70 out of 125. What percent is that? 56. How many are yellow or not green? So what are you going to do? Take out the green ones. Take out the green ones. So 77 over 125. And what percent is that?
61.
0.6, I think it is. How about purple or not red?
71.2.
Yep, I got 71.2. It's 89 out of 125. You get this? Yeah? Okay, next. This is a geometric probability problem. This is that dartboard. We're not going to do 25 because you can't see the green. I'm not going to do that one. We're going to do this one, and this one. So, what would be the probability? So we have this dartboard, and if you can't read this, this is the radius, and I'm going to set your radius. You can make your radius 1. Make the radius. If it doesn't tell you what the radius is, just make it 1. You can make it whatever you want, but one's the easiest number to use. So it says, what's the probability that the dart will land in the bullseye? Well, here's your bullseye. The 20 is just how many points you get if you land. You get the most number of points if you land in this region. So I need the area of this bullseye over the area of the whole thing. Well, how do you find area?
Pi r squared.
Area is pi times r squared. So I need to figure out the area of the bullseye. Well, if the radius is 1, what's the area of this bullseye?
Pi squared.
Pi squared. No, pi, yeah, no,
Pi.
pi, just pi. Pi times 1 squared is just pi. What would be the area of the whole circle? Well, if this is 1, and this is 1, and this is 1, and this is 1, what's the radius here?
4.
So it'd be pi times 4 squared. What happens to these pi's? They cancel. What's 1 squared? What's 1 squared?
1,
What's 4 squared?
60.
So what's the probability?
1,
1/16.
6.
Does that make sense? Okay, the next one, let's do, what's the probability that the dart will be thrown and you're gonna get at least 10 points? So in other words, this right here, at least 10, if not more. So I wanna know the area of this. How do you get the area of this? Well, if each of these is 1, it'd be pi times 2 squared over the probability of, what's the whole thing? What's the area of the whole thing?
4 squared.
What happens to these? They cancel. You get 4 over 16, which is 1/4. So 20, you could say 25%. And the last one, the dart scores less than 10. So I need to know what the area of this part right here, this piece, over the area of the total. We know the total. What's the total? That's the total. But now, how would I figure out this? Well, you have to take the area of this piece right here and subtract the area of the whole thing. That's gonna give you this piece right here. So the area of the whole thing, which is pi times 4 squared, we're gonna subtract the area of this piece right here, which is pi times 2 squared, which is what? This is 16. 16 minus 4 is, so you've got 12 pi over 16 pi. The pi's cancel. And you've got 12/16. What number goes into 12 and 16? So 3/4. So 75%. Questions?